All right, everybody, welcome into Cubs on Tap, part of the On Tap Sports Network, here to talk about the Chicago Cubs on a beautiful Monday evening. My name is Tommy. Over there is Joey. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are going to find a way through talking about the Chicago Cubs for the next 40 to 45 minutes. And if you would like to commiserate with us, please do so in the comments and like and subscribe and all the things. But Joey, how are you feeling tonight?
Dude, I thought we were gonna feel a little worse than I do right now because that beat, like
I know.
that's got to
Yeah.
that's remixed now. That was
Yeah,
remixed.
new intro. New intro.
That was
We got
sweet.
cooked up here. So yeah, they same-ish beat, same-ish tune, but maybe picked up just a little bit with some new faces in there. Mostly
Yeah.
mine. But yeah, intro looks good. I would shout out the guy who does it, but I don't know his name. Tony does. So if Tony's watching, he can put it in the comments. Or if you're the one that did it, you should just tell us that you did it because you did a great job. But anyways, yes, the Chicago Cubs are back down into fourth place, 5 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers in the division. Tough weekend in St. Louis, which we will get into. But before we do that, got to do some housekeeping. If you are coming to us again for uh, the second time, the third time, the millionth time, thank you for watching the show. You know the drill to like and subscribe the stream on the YouTubes, like and retweet it on the Twitters. However you're watching, we appreciate you watching and enjoying, and the podcast listeners, because the podcast goes out when this show completes. So, and then go to our friends at Obvious Shirts. There's a code right up there that if you scan that code, it'll take you to Obvious Shirts, pick out your favorite hat, favorite t-shirt, whatever. And then on Tap Sports code 10% off right there, just like that. So go visit our friends. I got my hat on tonight. But yeah, that's our housekeeping. We got to get into these Chicago Cubs who had a tough weekend for the most part in St. Louis. Jordan Wicks. The offense was kind of hit or miss. Shota had a bad outing. Joey, what was your biggest takeaway from this weekend? Because there was some good, but it was mostly not great.
Yeah. It's thinking about that, I was actually looking at I don't know who posted. I'm assuming maybe you did, Tommy. The Twitter question that we had.
I did.
Like, what are the vibes like? How are you feeling? I myself, I was thinking, well, I do see a little bit of light and a little worried at the same time. So I'm like a mix of, I see a little bit light, it's coming, and I'm a little bit worried, but not panicked. Those are kind
Sure.
of the two that my biggest takeaway, I guess, this series was, you dropped 2 of 3 to your bitter rivals in St. Louis. But, looking at the Cardinals this season, I know they're a super young team, and that was talked about a lot during this series on the national scale of the national broadcast, which, yeah, they are. They definitely are. They're not supposed to be in this position. They're definitely in a rebuild type of mode. But, looking at their team, just looking at the standings alone and the record alone, you drop 2 of 3. If the Cardinals are good in a year that they're good, you don't expect to win more than one game. You hope to win 2 games, just take a
Sure.
series. And I kind of look at it this way of, yeah, things sucked yesterday offensively, but you still only dropped, you still at least won one game. And I feel like the offense is still coming around, even though yesterday's offensive performance wasn't there. So I guess I'm taking more of the positive than anything, even though, the runners left on base was totally, especially in the first inning. I thought that was a huge critical point where you get the first 2 guys on and you squander it. You can't do anything with that. So at least in the first inning. But yeah, I guess to your point or to your question, I'm leaving there today. Maybe it's just a night to sleep on it, a whole day going to work and coming back. I feel like they're not too far off, and maybe some of that is also the injury news that we're getting lately too. But how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I'm not ready to pull out the panic button just yet, but I'm a little disappointed in what's going on. I mean, we went through a really tough 2 to 3 week stretch where nothing could seem to go correctly. And that happens in baseball seasons. I mean, the 2016 team, they went through a funk like in June or July of that year where they couldn't hit the ball, they couldn't get a win. And they were still the best team in baseball. And I'm not saying there was a point this year where I thought the Cubs were the best team in baseball. I don't feel that way anymore. I think there's too many injuries and some more guys got to prove and show up offensively, but it could definitely be worse than what it is now. The Cubs, they've faced the most teams in the league against over 500 teams, and they have the fourth best record in that stat. They still have a top 10 record, or they're a top 10 team in baseball. They're right on the cusp of the wild card in a very competitive National League. Like, they are right in the thick of things. It is way too early to write off the Chicago Cubs. Now, they do have a few things that they got to do before the deadline to get to shore some things up. And they got to get some stuff figured out internally, but this team is very far from being dead. I'm not worried. I would like them to start being better immediately, obviously. And I wish the 10-game losing streak didn't happen, but what are you going to do? It's baseball. It's baseball. We haven't won a series in almost a month, which kind of stinks. So I'm ready to flip the calendar to June. It is June. Let's just keep moving forward. Let's get moving. But before we do that, we should talk about just kind of the bad stuff. Let's just get the bad stuff out of the way. And then let's bring the vibes back up in the back half of the show. And then we'll take a look at what we're going to do against the Athletics. I think that would be the appropriate way to go.
I like it.
Yeah. So let's start with the starting rotation. Jordan Wicks, it didn't work out. He had 2 starts. He pitched just over 6 innings. He gave up 11 runs, 13 hits. It just didn't work. And the starting rotation of everybody that is not named Ben Brown, that is in the starting rotation right now, the best one, Edward Cabrera, who's hurt right now, but he has a 4 ERA. Shota's at 4.37. Tyone's at 5.37. Reyes at 4.7. And then Matthew Boyd's going to come back with 6. Like, the starting pitching is just not getting it done this year, Joey.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's definitely a problem. And I think what we saw early, and this was my concern with Shota, I guess, too, going into the season. I guess I'll start with him because right now with the injuries, obviously Boyd seems like he's on his way back, and Cabrera too. He's not too far behind.
Right.
But Shota right now would be, with those guys out, and I know it's crazy to say because really it's 4 guys out that puts him in that top conversation. But Shota would be the guy that you look at and say, well, right now he's your number 1. Like, generally, you would think that.
Yeah.
And what we saw from him early in the season compared to the last few starts, or maybe even the last month, it just hasn't been there. And I mean, he's given up way too many homers. He's got the, I don't know, because the game that I went to, I mean, he had the stuff that day going at Wrigley just recently. Last Sunday or the 24th, I think it was. So he had the stuff going, but he just, again, gave up the long ball, and then Craig left him in too long. And I don't think Craig's doing that very often. I think he kind of knows when to pull the trigger for the most part on some of these guys, but then also he's thinking about, okay, well, what about tomorrow? There's always that question of what about tomorrow with the bullpen and keeping these guys fresh and making sure they're not eating too many innings and you're giving up tomorrow's game too. And so I think in some cases, the ERA is a little inflated for some of those types of situations, like Tyon getting left out there to dry when he clearly doesn't have it against the White Sox, or some of those situations. But you're right. I mean, this is just not getting it done right now.
Yeah.
Like, the rotation needs to be better, and clearly they're going to have to go make a move if you're still competitive come the deadline, or you're going to have to go do something a little bit sooner, if you're feeling like you're going to be aggressive this year. But I'm very worried, but I do think that there's going to be better pitching performances to come, especially from Boyd. I think him coming back, I think that's going to be nice.
Yeah, I think Boyd, I think we still have yet to see the best of him this year. I really think Edward Cabrera is going to bounce back into how he was the first 3 or 4 starts that we had with him. I think he's going to bounce back. Shota and Tyon just got to stop throwing batting practice. I think that would be a good start. And then Colin Ray, like, you can't ask for much more than what you've gotten from Colin Ray, considering like who he is, what he's supposed to be doing. Like, it is what it is. He's just holding the fort down until somebody can come take his place, right? And that's kind of the same for what Jordan Wicks was supposed to be, but I think we might have seen the end of the Jordan Wicks experience, maybe. I just
so
don't.
at this point.
It's quite interesting to me that in both of his starts, he didn't make it to the fourth inning in either one of them. That's something Javi Assad could have done. He could have given you 4 or something. I would have been much more confident with him on the mound than I would have with Jordan Wicks. But that's another one that we're kind of having to eat with our friends on the South Side, because Jordan Wicks was taken 1 pick before Colston Montgomery was taken in that draft. So that one's kind of tough to hang on to, but whatever. I don't live in the past. I live in the now. Unless it's 2016.
Hey,
that's
you
the only
brought it up.
I did. Another guy that is just not clicking this year, Dansby Swanson. It's not going great. Dansby's batting 183 in June. His on-base percentage is 293. I didn't even do the calculations for his OPS because it was so low. What is happening with Dansby at the plate? It's just he is like a right at average ball player when it comes to hitting. He's normally in the 240-ish range. This is just not. He is just off this year.
I think he's guessing.
I think he's guessing.
I think he's up at the plate guessing. I really do, because there's no, and maybe putting a little too much pressure on himself. Like when there's guys on in scoring position and he knows he needs to make contact or get a hit.
Yeah.
We saw that last year too. I mean, he was terrible in those situations last year, but this is just brutal, man. This is like, he's, say what you want to say about Dansby. A lot of people have been saying this, for a couple of years now, that he's, the infield version of, or this era version of Jason Hayward. I've never looked at him that way. I don't feel that, because I feel like the power production and just what he's been providing has been, like you said, it's average to above average at times. And he's streaky. He goes through these stretches. Like he's hot and then he's cold, and then right now I'm just hoping that this is a major cold streak and then he's going to be blazing for the rest of the season. I doubt that we're going to see him just go off for the rest of the season, because there's enough of a sample size now. But at the same point, he's a better hitter than this. I mean, this is monumentally bad for someone like Dansby Swanson.
Yeah, he's normally a lot better than this, but he's just one of those guys that, like, you have to have him in the lineup just because of what he provides you defensively on a nightly basis. The Cubs could give him I think now would be an appropriate time to give him like what they did for Ian Happ a couple weeks ago. Gave him 2 days off consecutively. And then he just dominated in Pittsburgh like he always does. He had a very good weekend in St. Louis too. This may be an opportunity to do something like that for Dansby, of like give him a couple days off. Pedro Ramirez is right there, ready to go. He could play, get some big league at bats in the time that Dansby needs to just go, maybe hit some balls off a tee in the cage or something. I'm not going to tell a professional baseball player what to do to get out of his funk, but it's just not clicking, and it stinks to see, because I really do like Dansby. I'm not one of those guys that'll rag on him. But it is not good right now. It is kind of holding up the Cubs a little bit, but everybody's been off to start the year a little bit too.
But I think you're onto something there. I mean, I was talking with a couple buddies on Wednesday at my game, buddy on my team, and we were like, dude, I kept telling him, I'm like, we're both going back and forth about how bad Dansby's been and a couple of these guys. Like Dansby, and that was before they obviously did well that night in Pittsburgh. But Dansby, like, he absolutely could use a couple days off, 2-3 days off. Pedro Ramirez, I mean, I liked when he first came up. Like he he flashed a little something on that Sunday, and it's like, you can't get regular playing time between him and Alcantara, but yeah, why not? Like Nico, you don't really lose too much, at least in the short term, defensively at shortstop with Nico. So I'm with you, man. Like it's his defense at shortstop, as valuable as it is, and I want him out there as much as possible. Um, his defense at shortstop between him and PCA in center field, like when he's struggling, the drop off isn't as significant between PCA's replacement in center to Dansby's replacement at shortstop and Nico Horner. So I feel
Sure.
like when he's cold like this, you got to do it. Try something. Sit him for
Right.
a minute.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think Craig is very scared to do that either, because Danzy's one of those guys that takes pride in playing as many of 162 as possible. But we
Yep.
have seen Craig be like, "Hey, you're taking the day off." Like that's just how it's going to be. So maybe we see that this week, maybe we don't. But um, let's get to some happy thoughts,
All right.
happy vibes. Ben Brown has just been incredible. He is he was supposed to be what, like maybe a setup guy or like a mid reliever somewhere in there. He's the ace of this rotation out of nowhere. 192 ERA. He went 7 innings in St. Louis, 3 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts. Like against a very hot St. Louis lineup, against your rival division game. Gotta love that. More of that, please.
God, man, I don't care who you are. You could say whatever you want about like never giving up on Ben Brown, yada yada. Like there's been people that have been uh, saying that for a minute now, and I believe you. By the way, if you say that, I totally believe you because you believe in the stuff. The Cubs obviously did. They didn't want to give up on him. Like you said, he was not chosen to be a starter or even predicted to be this season. He was supposed to be a setup guy slash maybe guy people were predicting possibly
Right.
closing. But I mean, come on, man. Like this is a development like we haven't seen. And Tommy, I don't know like how in tune you were with Cubs on Tap before before joining us this year, but like since 2022 when they first traded for him, we've had shows obviously going this entire time, but we
Sure.
were talking about him and he was one of the guys that we were super high on after that trade of like, look what he was doing in the Phillies organization. Like this
Yeah.
guy, I mean, you gave up David Robertson for this guy and this guy could be a potential ace. Well, then it was like, oh, well, he's got
Yeah.
2 pitches. He's throwing meatballs. He's like, what is going on? Ben Brown's never going to figure it out. This two-seamer, and I really think he's tunneling his pitches well. He's mixing them well. He's getting ahead of guys. Like his hard hit rate is still, it's still pretty high, I would say, but nothing is leaving the ground.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. He knows, like he has created this arsenal for himself and he knows how to use it. And that's just, I mean, that's big league pitching at its finest right there. And he's getting he's the only one that's getting it done from the starting rotation. So
Crazy.
if only we could have him out there every single night, you know.
Man,
Really quick, the guy in the chat, he has a question about trades. We're gonna get to trades here in a little bit, so hang on to that. Also, if somebody was blocked or muted or something in the chat, I don't know how to control that. I don't press the buttons, so sorry to the person that was blocked last week or whatever. So sorry. Ian Happ, that's where we were. So we were talking about Ben Brown. We're talking about positive vibes only right now. Ian Happ took a couple days off. Then he comes back, bats 357 this week, 3 home runs, 1143 OPS, dominates in Pittsburgh, hits a dinger in St. Louis. He's starting to see the ball a little bit. He's another guy that kind of like more so than Dansby gets ragged on when he is in a funk. It's like a funk times 12 because people are just so mean to him when he is down. But he is a Chicago Cub. He is like the ultimate Chicago Cub that we have right now. And it's good to see him swinging a hot bat and being out there.
yeah, I mean, all it took was Pittsburgh to get Hap going. First couple of games, I don't think he was it was happening. Maybe a first game for sure, but dude, once he started seeing it, he's got his family there. I don't know, like something about Pittsburgh just gets him going. And you're right, he's another guy that he gets a lot of mistreatment from the fan base for sometimes for no reason too, because it's like, do you understand how consistent this guy's been year over year? I mean, I guess he takes the majority of the blame for being on this team as long as he has. And
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing is it's like some fans will look at it and say, well, you kept this guy out of all of them. Well, it's like, well, he's been the most consistent and look at the guys that they didn't keep. But, so I don't know. I mean, Hap's just one of these guys that he figures it out and he'll come back strong. And right now, I mean, dude, he's heating
Seeing
up.
the ball.
He's seeing it.
He's seeing the ball. PCA is taking professional at bats, looking at pitches, seeing pitches. Ron and I talked about it on Thursday, or was it Friday? Whenever we had our last show, when Ron and I did it, we were talking about PCA's at bats and how he is using what he learns in the first at bat in his second, third, and fourth, like going up there, seeing what the pitcher's got, and then he's ready for him the next time, or he takes him deep on this fifth, sixth pitch of the first at bat. Like he is taking professional at bats. That moment on Saturday night,
awesome.
The tarps off crowd is chanting overrated. The best bat flip of the year so far I've seen. And that was the hardest hit ball of PCA's career. 114, somewhere between 114, 115 off the bat. Hardest hit ball of his career. Gotta feel like he had some extra oomph in that because of the crowd. It's nice to see him win a crowd interaction, I will say.
Oh man, him rounding first base and swinging the shirt like Petey Pablo shirt.
Yeah,
dude, that was as electric as it gets in that type in the rivalry.
Yeah. Like, by the way, if anybody knows how to make GIFs and can make a GIF of Joey and I doing that at the exact same time, right there, like that,
do it.
You might have something right there.
But dude, that hit though, like you said, hardest hit ball of his career, tracked. I mean it's top 5% max exit velocity in the league too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like that is. I mean, we've seen he can definitely scorch it. He's had plenty of hard hit balls all season. Like before we hopped on here, I had to just look. I had to.
Please.
I mean, 100th percentile. I mean, his hard hit rate is 92nd percentile this year, but 100th percentile in fielding run value, 100th percentile in outs above average, 100th percentile arm value. I know that's a defensive side of it, but the way that he ended that game with the sliding catch.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Jordan Walker hit that ball hard. That was 98 off the bat and on a line. Like that thing had no airtime to it at all. And the catch that he made between that and then Saya's throwing the guy out at third base.
Yeah.
Right before that. Insane way, like an incredible night.
I think was it Pujols that said it was either Pujols or Rizzo that said that ball that Jordan Walker hit should have been a triple. Like that was double, maybe even triple territory out there because that's a deep gap out there in Busch Stadium.
All day, man.
Oh yeah, took him away, ended the game. So yeah, shout out PCA, possibly underrated.
Oh, he
possibly even.
They don't realize what he's done since like the start of May. Like,
it's crazy.
Really realizes what he's actually done, and
right.
I think he's underrated because most fans hate him.
Yeah. I think I'm really hopeful that we have a summer of Pete this year at Wrigley. Maybe weather warms up a little bit. The wind starts going out towards the lake a little bit with the flags going out to right. That video board might be in a little bit of danger this summer between him. If Michael Busch can get heated up, like hello. But another guy that's heating up right now, Alex Bregman's on a 12-game hitting streak for anybody that cares. Yes. 8 hits in 6 games this week. He is, I mean, even more so than Dansby. It seemed like he was just either not hitting the ball at all or hitting it so hard, but it was going to a person that didn't have to move to catch it. Like that was, those were the 2 options for Alex Bregman for quite a substantial amount of time. Seems like he's starting to get out of that funk a little bit, consistently getting hits. This is what we signed up for. He made a couple of incredible plays in the field this weekend too. So we're starting to see what we paid for with Alex Bregman, and nobody cares about your fantasy team. I did just trade for Alex Bregman because I think the stock price is right where I want it to be, where it's about to go up.
All right, doing a little day trading here with
Yes.
Alex Bregman. I like it.
Yeah.
No, man, it's good to see. Yeah, you mentioned his hitting streak. He was quietly having a hitting streak throughout this whole stretch, like at least for most of it. And I mean, it's felt like Bregman a lot of times this year has been, a singles type of hitter, which has been weird to say. So I think it's good to see that he's getting that power back too, because he could have had 2 homers in this series. The one was taken away, obviously, down the line upon review. But
Yeah.
the launch angle this year, like I'm looking at it, his career launch, it's low. It's a career low this year. So he's hitting the ground balls are up more than normal. So it's really good to see him start to get some lift on it. And maybe that's what it takes to just not find gloves. Just get the ball in the air, maybe hit some more doubles and homers, and good things are going to happen for Bregman.
Yeah. Yeah. We're right there. We are right there. So there's some positive things to look at as far as the Cubs are going right now. It's not all rainbows and butterflies like it is in Atlanta, or maybe even on the South Side for whatever reason. But I think if we all just come together and realize we're gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. Like, we got just about 100 games to go here. We are so far away from this thing being over. Weather's about to heat up. The Cubs are averaging or above average in runs per game. They're almost at 5, not quite at 5. I think the Braves are the only team that score more runs than the Cubs, which is surprising to say after the last 2 weeks or so. But the pitching staff is giving up just about 4 to 5 runs a game. So one of those is going to have to improve if we're going to win some games. Yeah. So, real quick, not really quick. Let's just go to our next thing. We do have a comment about the trade situation. Would you rather trade for Scooble or a guy like Webb who is locked up for longer term? I don't know the exact numbers on Webb or how many years that he would be available after the fact, but Logan Webb is a name that I know Tyler has brought up before about going out to get. I've written probably 3 blogs at this point about how the Cubs could potentially or probably won't get Tariq Skubal, just depending on which one you clicked on. Today was one where Jim Bowden from The Athletic said that he put a package together that he believes that the Cubs could offer the Tigers to get the deal done with them. He said that he would offer the Tigers Matt Shaw, Kevin Alcantara, and then Dominic Reed, who was a draft pick, was in 25. Yeah, 25, 3rd round pick in 2025. He's currently with Single A, or down with Myrtle Beach, not even with South Bend, but he's with Myrtle Beach. He's a pitcher, 2-3 record with the 3.32 ERA right now, but the Cubs are very high on him as far as development goes. And we know that when the Cubs are high on somebody with pitching, they really give a little extra TLC to them. We've seen it with Cade Horton when they got Ben Brown and brought him over. It was like, you are now ours. You are all we want, kind of thing. So we've seen Justin Steele is another case of this. So we've seen this done before with the Cubs. This is another guy that they feel strongly about, but they could go get Tariq Skubal, who has won 2 Cy Youngs in a row. To answer this question myself, and then I want to hear from you, I am treating 2026 like there is no tomorrow, because there is going to be no tomorrow. Go win a World Series right now. Give me Tariq Skubal, and then we'll figure it out after the parade. That's where I'm at.
I don't know, man. I need more time to think about it, honestly. Because Skubal would be amazing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I don't know if some of the overall struggles that we've seen this year, this team, even with Skubal, is good enough to do it. And I say that, and that sounds weird. I know it sounds weird when you have the best pitcher in baseball if he's healthy, right? It sounds weird to say that. But I don't know if I'm making that deal. Like, I might be crazy and I might be off my rocker, but I'm looking at like even this last trade that just happened in the NFL, like what was Myles Garrett and
Yep.
and Jared Verse. Like I thought Jared Verse being a part of that deal was too much long term. Like,
Mm.
and that's probably a hot take. And I know we're switching gears here, talking football, but like
No, that's fine.
I'm kind of on the conservative side of like don't want to get burnt sometimes, but I do want to go for it too. I'm not saying hug all these prospects. Like
Sure.
where do you play Matt Shaw? Where do you consistently? Where do you play Kevin Alcantara consistently? I don't
Yeah.
know if that's the deal I'd make though with the free agents that are coming off the table. Like maybe Alcantara can be in the future mix. I don't know, man. I really, I guess I just have to really kind of look at all the prospects and see like what I would pull together because I haven't really closely
That's
dived in.
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I do think I would agree with you that I don't think the getting Scooble would be top of the line like that. That would be the move of the deadline. But it's almost like you're right. That wouldn't be enough. You would need to go do something else in addition to Scooble, perhaps like a flamethrower at the back end of the bullpen or something like that. Like you would have to do something in addition to it. But I don't know if you could do better than going after Scooble.
You
I
can't.
really super don't. So,
You
but I
can't.
mean, Logan Webb would be a good option too if we can keep him for more than 1 year, and the way that the Cubs really love their pitching. Granted, the pitch like we're talking about how much the Cubs love their pitching, and the pitching, for lack of better words, stink right now, other than Ben Brown. But
I mean, but you know what though? You mentioned something about like Dominic Reed. Like I all these pitching prospects. Like look how long it takes them to even get. And you never know what's going to happen with them. So I'm okay with like trading pitching prospects as a part of trades too.
yeah,
Like just thinking about it that way. Like
yeah.
I know we were wondering how long Logan Webb would be. He's signed through 2028. So you would get.
So you would get a year and a half.
Yeah, maybe if
Okay.
if we're talking no baseball next year, you'd get basically 28 then, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
Something
it's
to think
something to
about.
keep it. Yeah, it's something to think about. Something to keep the eye on. And also, I mean, like this collective bargain agreement stuff is gonna matter big time as far as what's going on with free agency and stuff. Because we talked about it. Nick and I talked about it a little bit in the last show. But it's gonna get ugly for sure, and it already is getting ugly. The players don't want the salary cap. The owners want the salary cap. The players are insulted by the offers that are coming for the offer that came from the owners, and it's gonna get ugly, Joey. We are not going to have baseball in 2027.
I know you say that. I'm of the belief that we are.
Okay.
So I listen, I'm not saying it's not going to get ugly. It's definitely going to get ugly. We saw this last time. It's going to be worse than it was last time with all
Yeah.
these
Oh, big
way
time.
worse than it was last time. But here's the thing. Everyone knows how much they lose out with no baseball because players get ridiculed in the media and that loses them opportunity to make more money on endorsements.
Sure.
The owners obviously lose out because then they don't have any attendance or anything like that. So like it's a lose-lose situation for having no baseball at all. What type of agreement they come to, I don't know, but I'm gonna stay positive until the very end because I cannot fathom not having a baseball season. It just pissed me off.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, don't. I'm not rooting to not
I
have a
know.
baseball season. I'm just setting my expectations are if I tell myself that we are not going to have a baseball season and then we do, then I get pleasantly surprised and then we move on with our lives. But
there you go.
there's just I'm scared, man. I'm petrified of this. So
I
it's
get it.
just, yeah, we're just gonna have to keep our eyes on it. Live scoreboard watching right now. The Reds are losing to the Royals. The Brewers are all over the Giants. And then the Cardinals are down 2-1 to the Rangers in the top of the seventh. So we'll see how the standings shake out. But like we said at the top of the show, Cubs are in fourth place. They're behind. They're 5 games behind the Brewers. Looks like it's going to be 5.5 by the end of the night. They're tied right now for a spot in the wild card, but again, that could change by the end of the night. So don't quote me if you're watching or if you're listening or watching this on Tuesday morning. We're at 8:40 at night, so I'm just reporting what I'm seeing. The Cubs will be in action tomorrow night, Tuesday night, back home against the Athletics. The Cubs have not won a home game in almost a month. The last time was when we swept the Reds. So let's win some ball games, shall we, at Wrigley Field? We have Jamison Tyone on the mound tomorrow night taking on Gage Jump. What a name. Wednesday, it's Jeffrey Springs versus Colin Ray. And then Thursday, well-traveled TBD will be taking on Shota Imanaga. Joey, do you have anything that you just absolutely have to see from the Chicago Cubs in this series against the A's?
I have to see the wind blowing in.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, honestly, it's just, yeah, you got to take care of business at home, man. Like, and come ready to play. Don't sleep on them like it's the Astros. Like, don't look at the record. This team's better than, way better than what we've seen recently from A's teams. I mean, they're not that far below 500, and the Astros admittedly were better than what they were coming into that series record-wise. But you just cannot let a team, especially from the West Coast, come into town and knock you around. I mean, it's crazy that you even said that they haven't won a game at home in so long, because this team was on fire at home. Like,
we couldn't lose.
Start treating it like it's, you don't come to Wrigley. No one wants to come to Wrigley. That's what it needs to be.
It was 14 or 15 in a row. And then the first sweep against the Brewers is the first time the Cubs got swept at home since like 2022. And then they did it right away again. So let's just never have that happen ever again at Wrigley. The A's are 28-31 right now, but they're just 2.5 games back of the Mariners in the West. And they have they're a half game out of a wild card spot. So the American League is super down right now. They have Lawrence Butler is supposed to be a stud for them. He's batting like 120 something. We need to take two. Let's just focus on some meatball baseball. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Go just win 2 out of 3 games, and then we'll come back on Thursday night and we'll talk about how, okay, we won 2 of 3. Let's see it again over the weekend, and then we just keep rolling from there. That's kind of where I'm at.
I like that plan. Who they got over the weekend? I don't.
Over the weekend, the Chicago Cubs are going to be taking on. I should know this because I'm going to the games. The Giants, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
We're in that weird spot of like the A's are coming here, and then we play the Giants at home, and then we go to Colorado, and then go to San Francisco, and then Colorado's here, and then we're done with Colorado and San Francisco. Just bam, just like that.
Midwest, West Coast.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of what is going on. So, that's where we are. That's where we are with the season. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We're going to, our normal time is 8 p.m. on Thursdays. However, we are going to wait for the game to be over. It is a 7:00 start. It's going to be a late night with the boys. So drink some coffee, put some caffeine in the body, do whatever you got to do. At least 2 of us are going to be in these seats talking Chicago Cubs baseball after the game on Thursday. It'll start within 5 minutes of the final out. So make sure you tune into that. Like and subscribe to the shows, everything. Read the blogs, watch some videos, do some things and stuff. Just, show us some love because we love you back. Joey, would you like to do the honors of Tyler's bidding while he's not here?
Let's do it.
Because we're a little upset with them.
Well, in honor of our good friend Tyler here at Cubs on Tap, this bud's for you. Another Bush joke. Tarps on, D-bags. It's always FTC.
FTC. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll see you Thursday after the game.